Okay, for this video lesson, we're going to be working with area of a circle. So last lesson, we explored the relationship between circumference. So circumference is the outside of the circle. The diameter is going to go all the way across the inside of the circle. Okay, and then the radius only goes to halfway, right? So if this is our center, our radius is only going to go to the center point, okay? So yesterday we learned about that. Today we're learning about areas of a circle, okay? So the formula for area of a circle, so area is equal to pi r squared. Okay, so it's pi multiplied by the radius squared, okay? So it would be 3.14. And in this case, let's say our radius is equal to 2 meters, okay? Then our radius is going to be 2 meters squared, okay? Now just be careful, because when we're doing this, we only want to square the radius, not the pi as well, okay? So if we were to do that, it would be 3.14. 2 times 2 would be 4 meters squared. Okay, and then you would calculate your area there by multiplying those two digits. Okay, so 3.14 times 4 equals 12.56 meters squared. Okay, so if you're given the diameter, you can change it to the radius. Okay, that's just going to make our lives a little bit easier here. All right, so that's just a little bit of a background on circles and our newly introduced formula for area of a circle. So area is equal to pi r squared. Okay, so again, that is another important formula. You don't need to memorize that, but make sure you know how to use it, okay? And just a reminder from last topic, when we're calculating area, it is in square units, right? Because it has a left and a right dimension and an up and a down dimension, right? So if this is say 1 meter long and 1 meter long, the area is equal to base times height, which is 1 meter by 1 meter, which is 1 meter squared. Okay, so area is in square units. Make sure you include units with all of your answers, okay, because a number without a unit is just a number. Okay. So Mei Ling has a circular mirror in her bedroom, and the mirror has a radius of 20.5 centimeters. Okay, there's our circle. Remember, radius only is from the middle of the circle to the outside of our circle. Okay, so the radius is 20.5 centimeters. Okay, so first we are asked to calculate or estimate the area of the mirror. Okay, so area is equal to pi r squared. Now remember, when you were estimating in last lesson, we just used pi as 3. Okay, so this is an approximation. And then we're going to multiply that by a radius squared. And again, this is just an estimate, so let's do 20 centimeters squared. Okay, so 20 times 20 is 400. Square centimeters multiplied by 3 gives us an area, an approximate area of 1,200 centimeters squared. Okay, and again, 20 squared is equal to 20 times 20, right? Anything when it's squared, it's just that number multiplied by itself. Okay, so 20 times 20 is 400, multiplied by 3 gives me an area of 1,200 square meters. Okay, so that's our estimation. Now let's go ahead and calculate this. Okay, so area is equal to pi r squared. Pi, we're using 3.14. And our radius is 20.5 centimeters. And that is squared. Now again, be careful here because you only want to square that 20.5 centimeters, okay, not the 3.14. Okay, so square, when you're entering this into your calculator, it's probably going to be easiest to do it like this. So do 20.5 times 20.5 equals whatever number you get. Let's see, 20.5 gives us a value of 420.25. Okay, and then we're going to multiply that by 3.14, and hopefully you get to the same value as I did. Okay, so we're going to do, we get 1,319.585 centimeters squared. Okay, we want to round this to the nearest hundredth. So this is my hundredth place. So look to the right. 5 or more raise the score. So we're going to round up. So area is 1,319 and 59 hundredths of centimeters squared. Okay, and there is our answer. Okay, so a couple more examples here. So we're given the radius. So estimate and calculate. We'll just do an estimation for this one and we'll leave the other one alone. We'll just calculate the other one, okay? So for estimate, so remember area is pi r squared. So for if we're estimating for circle A, so area is equal to approximately 3 is our pi approximation, multiplied by 8 centimeters squared. Okay, 8 times 8 is 64. And multiplied by 3, 60, 120, 180 plus 12. So area is equal to approximately 192 centimeters squared. Okay, that's our estimation. Now for our calculation, we want to use 3.14 for pi, and our radius is 8 centimeters squared. Okay, so you punch this into your calculator, and we are going to get an area of 296 hundredths centimeters squared. Okay, so we're not too far off with our calculation or our estimation. But again, if it asks you to estimate, you can use pi as 3 as an approximation. Okay. All right, so let's move on to circle B. So we know we have a radius of 14.8 meters. So we can just go ahead and plug this into our formula. So area is equal to pi r squared. Our radius is 14.8 meters. Squared. Okay, punch these into your calculator and you'll get an area, hopefully, of 687.8 square meters. All right, so I think the hardest part about this topic so far is just going to be remembering to square our radius and make sure that is the only thing we square, okay? All right, so example 3, John is cutting a circular hole to go ice fishing. If the diameter of the hole is 25 centimeters, estimate and calculate to the nearest tenth the area of the circle. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and calculate this. Okay, if you want to estimate this, feel free. I'm just going to calculate this. Okay, so he's going ice fishing, and the diameter, so the measurement across the whole circle, is 25 centimeters. Now remember, for area, it is pi r squared. Okay, so we need to find our radius here. Hopefully you remember that the radius and the diameter are related, in that the diameter is twice the radius. Okay, so if we know the diameter is 25 centimeters, then our radius, which will just be half of that, will be 12.5 centimeters. Okay, so if you know the diameter, you can calculate the radius. So now that we know the radius, we can go ahead and find our area. Okay, so area is equal to pi, which is 3.14, times the radius squared, so 12.5 centimeters squared. Okay, again, make sure you're only squaring the 12.5 centimeters. Okay, punch this into your calculator, so you can do 12.5 times 12.5 equals, and then multiply by 3.14, and that will give you an area of 490.6 square centimeters. Okay, so if you're given a diameter in a question and you're asked to solve for the area, that's okay. We just need to remember the relationship between diameter and radius is half of a diameter. All right, last example for today. Again, we're just going to calculate this. Feel free to estimate to check your answer if you'd like. So if we know the diameter is 6.8 meters, so the whole length across is 6.8 meters. And remember that the radius is half of the diameter. So if we know the diameter is 6.8 meters, then our radius is going to be 3.4 meters. Okay, again, we need to know the radius if we want to calculate the area. Okay, so area is equal to pi r squared. Pi is 3.14. Radius is 3.4 meters squared. So punch those into your calculator, and you will get an area of 36.298 meters squared. Okay, so you guys have just gotten practice with a few different questions. So your assignment for today is it's going to be a topic 8.3 worksheet. And I have included this on the posting here, so hopefully you have seen it. Okay, so take the remaining time from today's class to get that worksheet done, please. And once you are done, please take a photo and either email it or text it to me, or submit that right to the Google Classroom. Okay, thank you for your attention today, and we'll see you soon.